Hey guys, Joel here at Ski Uphill, and today I just wanted to share my initial impressions on a new shoe I just started using. It's the Brooks Caldera 4. It's the latest iteration in the Brooks Classic kind of Caldera line, which is their kind of cushy trail running platform. Now, that shoe is one of my favorite since it was released. I did use the 2 a lot. That one's pretty worn out. I did use the 3 a fair amount as well. And now with the 4, there's definitely a big change between the Caldera 1 and 2, which were almost the same, and now the updated version, the 4. The 2 was a very nice and cushy shoe. Didn't have a ton of tread. It was a little bit unstable, I found. On technical trails because the outsole was, the midsole was very, very cushy. Ended up being a very good shoe for long runs or recovery days, or like, sore legs kind of days. As you can see, I did wear that one a fair amount. It's all bent and everything. When I swapped to the 3, I had a really pleasant surprise in the fact that the shoe was a little bit more stable. So the midsole is similar, but it did feel a bit more responsive, not quite as pillowy as a 2. Still the same kind of, semi-technical fire road sort of tread, but a really nice upper. That shoe I spent a lot of time on last summer. Fit wise, classic kind of Brooks, mid-range, really comfortable, snug where you want it, like heel pocket and everything, but not too snug, not a fit that's restrictive, but not something that's baggy either. So yeah, the 3, really like that shoe, but unfortunately, it's not a shoe that you end up using a ton around here because the tread is a little bit on the kind of non-technical shallow side, right? Not much there. For Nordic Center, for nice and dry packed trails, it works, but as soon as it gets a little slippery, it's a little too little, unfortunately. So, Brooks came out with the 4 this year, and the first thing is, finally a trail tread. So expecting something that's going to be a lot more grippy and not just kind of hard pack, firm, dry conditions. It's a new rubber by Brooks called the Trail Tack. The Cascadia also has that new rubber as an update, and it's performing a lot better than the classic Brooks compound. A couple differences. So that Caldera 4 has a little bit more stack height. So a shoe that does feel a bit more kind of Hoka-esque, and the cushioning and how kind of bouncy it is. I did like that one yesterday a lot because it reminded me of the 3 for stability. So there's a bit of harder kind of midsole material closer to the foot that makes it feel like a stable and square platform. But then you do have that nice and pillowy feel that the 2 had as well. It's the nice combination of the 3 stability and the 2 for cushioning. Fit wise, it is actually quite different. The 2 and the 3 were almost the same. The 4 is quite different. So as you can see, there's a bit more width across the forefoot. So definitely, I found that the room was a lot more there in the front. Also a little bit more space by the toes. Not quite as pointy as an upper. Some people had a bit of issues with the 2 kind of pinching their 5th toe. Instep wise, I'd say classic sort of Brooks, definitely a little bit more room than the 3 again. I did have, I don't have a lot of instep height, so I did have to do the laces a bit more tight, and for me, sometimes the shoes kind of touch together at the eyelets. A bit more room, but still something that as a narrow-footed person, I can wear comfortably. The heel pocket definitely does not cup quite as much out of the box. It almost kind of felt like I was slipping out, but once I just kind of tightened them properly, I didn't use the back eyelet yet, but I might just move it there. Nice and secure fit. Even though you don't feel like there's a ton of support there, I didn't find like I was slipping at all. So an improved fit for maybe a bit more mid-range kind of volumes, or even a bit more wide feet. Weight-wise, we're talking 280 grams in size 9, so very similar to what the Caldera 3 and the Caldera 2 were, between 275 and 285 for those models. Yeah, I suspect that this is going to be one of my favorite go-to shoes, especially when I start cranking up the mileage a little bit and I have to do longer runs or days where my feet are a bit more sore from intervals or from other mileage. That is definitely a big part of my quiver in the summer. So yeah, one of my, I think, best improvements this year for a new generation of shoe. You can also check out the Cascadia 14, which has lost a lot of weight this year, which also has a new compound and a new drop. Cascadia 14 comes in at 8mm drop, and the Caldera comes in at 4mm drop, so a bit more of a modern kind of style shoe. So yeah, Caldera 4, check it out, available in men's and women's versions. And expect a big improvement over the 2 and the 3, and also a nicer tread that's going to grip on more variable conditions on the trail. Thanks.